We are back. It's the 143rd season of Lafayette Football, and Mike Joseph and Gary Laubach are very happy to be part of it, and it has been an exciting off season. Mike, before we look at Buffalo, and we will certainly take time to do that, man, in this offseason, you get a Leopard team that's now ranked 17th in the nation. You get 3 All-Americans. Everybody, they're picked unanimously to win the Patriot League. Talk about having a target on your back.
Well, absolutely, and I talked to Coach Troxel about that. It's everything you want, though. I think, and I think it's exactly where he wanted to be, maybe a year earlier than he thought. And he's got all these kids returning. He's so excited about the enthusiasm. He's excited about the way the kids have come in shape to practice, to all the kids that stayed, hundreds of kids that stayed over the summer to work out. He's got great leadership. That's what I was concerned about with losing great leaders like Marco Olivas and some of those guys. But this has just been a whirlwind. Every day there's more accolades coming in. The question is, can you get rid of or can you push aside the complacency? Can you continue to do what you need to do? And I think Coach Troxel's got him on the right track.
I do too. I went to practice to watch a scrimmage just this past week, and who can talk to a head coach that doesn't have something to complain about? I couldn't get Trox to complain about anything. He said the kids have been terrific. They've come to practice. They've worked hard. Injuries have been slight ones, nothing really all that serious. So he's ecstatic about the upcoming season and obviously ecstatic about opening against Buffalo. On an odd night, on Thursday night, they will play. It will be the 8th meeting between these two teams, and Lafayette leads the series 6-1. Not sure that's meaningful. They haven't played since 1998. Mike, you being a former ex-coach, you're going to go up against the Buffalo Bills bring in for the first time Pete Lembo. Obviously a name we all know because he coached at Lehigh, he coached at Elon, coached at Ball State. But he is a brand new coach at Buffalo. That presents a problem for the opponents because you can't go back and look at tape from last year because he wasn't there.
No, you can't. So you have to go back and find out where he was and what he did in the past. And I think Coach Trox is looking at a lot of South Carolina film where he was, and especially special teams film, because normally these games where you step up, you go to the FBS level, the special teams are where you need to have the depth. You have to match their speed, their size, and their ability on their second teams when they're on their kickoff, punt return, things like that. So special teams are going to be huge. Can we punt the football? Can we trade some field position with them? And obviously, can we get this offense back hitting the ground where they were before? But yeah, as you said, we haven't played Buffalo since '98. I was on the staff. That was Coach Russo's 100th win at Buffalo. We had a great game, went up there and won, and it's a long trip. They're going to have to drive all the way up there. So again, it's again getting all your ducks in order and then getting everybody to the dance and making sure your key players are healthy and the locker room is set and ready to roll and pick up where they did last year.
Yeah, you know Buffalo is going to be ready because this is the 15th year now for Lembo as a head coach. So he's been around. I mean, he knows exactly what he needs to do. What does he have coming back? That could be a bit of a problem. He only has 3 starters back from last year's offense, but Mike, they're all along the line of scrimmage. That's important.
Yeah, very much so. If you need to have guys coming back, it's right there. And again, the question is the quarterback. And then the question, obviously, they're going to have skill kids on the outside that can make plays. They got a couple transfers. They have a bunch of transfers that came in. But if you want to start and you want to build from coming in as a new coach, you want to build on the offensive line. And similar to what Trox did, he built up that offensive line where that was the key last year. Nothing happens without those guys up front, and he's got a lot of those guys coming back. But Lembo is a special teams guy. That's where he's going to start, and he's going to be perfect there.
When you look at the ball club, as Mike mentioned, we alluded to, the top 2 rushers are gone. The quarterback is gone. The top tight end is gone. Their wide receivers are all gone. But they have gone to the portal. They've gotten guys in. Their quarterback, it looks like it might be a C.J. Ogbonna, who played a little bit last year. He's kind of more of a running quarterback, but they also got an Old Dominion transfer in Jack Shields. So they probably will be solid at quarterback. It is a Buffalo program. It is an FBS program.
Yeah, and I think you'll see both quarterbacks. I really do. I mean, when you get you got to see what they both can do under pressure. And again, controlling the football against Lafayette, an explosive offense is what you want to do. So I think you're going to see a lot of ground game from them early, and then I think you'll see them try to take some shots over the top, although Lafayette's got a lot of guys coming back in the secondary and excellent corners. So again, can they run the football against Lafayette? That's going to be a key. Can they establish that? And can they do it with a running quarterback, which in the past has given Lafayette a little bit of trouble? So can Lafayette key in on those? Can Mike St. Germain get that defense according to the zone reads and stuff where he's going to get out on the edge. And I think controlling the football for Buffalo and limiting the possessions for Lafayette's the key.
And I can't give you too much information about the other positions. I mean, Al J. Henderson, very little experience at running back. He looks like he'll be the starter. The wide receiver is J.J. Jenkins. He comes in from Columbia. He is a transfer. And Nick McMillan had 7 games last year before he got injured. The defense, though, has 7 starters back.
They do. Yeah, they have some defensive. The linebacker's fantastic. He led the MAC in tackles last year. He's phenomenal. They can run. They're going to put a lot of athletes out there. And again, the pass rush is the key. Can Lafayette, with a few key guys, you got to replace Barr. You got to replace, guys along that offensive line. So can you, again, be solid up front to give Dean the time he needs and throw off the play action, because Dean's healthy, Jamar's healthy. And, the big point for Lafayette is, can they keep that defense at bay and maybe take a couple shots over the top?
And over the top could be somewhat difficult. They do have an All-American safety in Marcus Fuqua. So this is going to be a very athletic team, a very talented team. Probably a great opener for Lafayette to play. They're going to go up against an FBS team. They're probably not favored to win the game, although I've seen a number of predictions where Lafayette has been picked to upset them. All right, the Leopards. Let's start with their 3 All-Americans. How great is that? You've got Curtis, Langsdale, and White, all 3 All-Americans, and boy, do we look forward to them coming back.
Well, it was such a pleasure watching them last year, and to watch Jamar Curtis run 1,460 yards, in my opinion, the best running back in the nation. He's just so explosive, and you and I were awed by him, what he did last year. And again, he had the blocking up front, the ability for him to get through the hole quickly, get into the secondary, and then finish runs. He did that well last year. And then obviously you have Dean DeNoble coming back, but up front, Ryder Langsdale, I mean, he's fantastic. He's been picked high up there. He's going to be your left tackle. It's always nice to have a solid left tackle. And then defensively, you have Sekou White, who just controls everything. He's going to keep everybody in gear. Even if a team scores or moves the football, he's going to keep them in check. And obviously, you go down to Preston Forney inside, who's going to be terrific. And then I am so excited to watch a defensive line that's got more time under their belt and rotated 8, 9, 10 guys in there that are going to be fresh. And that's going to be a key. Can Lafayette get after the quarterback with Jalen Joseph?
You'll probably claim he's related to you by the end of the season. Jalen, of course, was last year's defensive rookie of the year. 3.5 tackles, 4 sacks. He's back. We look pretty solid in every position. The unknown names, the guys that we don't know a great deal about, are the linebackers.
Yeah, and that's the key. You got Preston Forney in there, Reggie Thomas. Those are going to be your 2 guys. Who comes up and steps up behind him? It's going to be a name that we haven't heard much. Somebody that's been played on special teams. They're excited about a few of the freshmen that can run, but that's the key. Can you run? And that's what I've seen the difference in the last 5 years. Linebackers have to be able to run. They're not downhill players. They got to be able to cover in space. Marco Olivas could cover in space, could drop. And then Preston Forney's great blitzing and adding to the rush and that type of stuff. So are we going to see some 4-3? Yes. Are we going to see some 3-4 defense? Absolutely. But Lafayette is athletic. They're fast. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback, hopefully with 4, and then allow that secondary, like guys like Dubois and now and Tang back. Sekou White. I mean, these guys, Darian Brown, and these guys can play back there, and they all have experience. They've been in tough games. They've played against Delaware. They've played against Holy Cross. They played against Lehigh. They played against Duke. I mean, these are big-time players that know they're not going to be awed by anything.
And there is certainly depth in the lineup. Special teams, Jack Simonetta is back. Kind of a crazy kid. I had a chance to spend a little time with him last week. And Jake Trestic has been outstanding in practice. Yes. Those were 2 areas of concern last year. Hopefully, no concern.
Yeah, and a kicking game is so key. Last year, we were good in the kicking game. We weren't great. We need to be better punting the football, and Trestic knows that. But what I've seen so far in preseason, he's been very, very good. That's got to be a key for us to be able to change field possession, down people inside, get the football back at midfield, and then obviously put our offense. The more we can get the ball back to our offense, that's the key. And how long have you and I talked about offense? Not much, just last year. So the more we can get the ball back to our offense and give them the ball in good field position, the more points we're going to put on the board, and that's the key. Let's turn this into where we can score, okay? And then defensively, can we get some turnovers?
Buffalo, it doesn't get easy for them after Lafayette. They take on Missouri the following week on September 7th. And, of course, we take on Monmouth. Mike and I, our first ball game will be Marist. That will be in a couple of weeks. I'm excited. I know you are.
Oh my goodness, this is the best time of year, and the weather. How about it? It's been like Camp Cupcake out there. I've told Trox. It's not. You had the 90-degree days, and all of a sudden it's been beautiful out there. So you can get a lot of work in, and the fact that you can only practice one practice, there's no more double sessions.
Right.
So you get one practice, but you get a lot of film time. You get a lot of chance to watch. What is this new coach going to do? What schemes are we going to see? What offense and defensive pressures are we going to see? So you get a lot of time, and I think that's a benefit. And I think these kids can't wait to see a different color jersey, and I just can't wait. I'm thinking about driving to Buffalo, and I think I am right now. You just convinced me. I'm going.
And big thank you to Will Nicesaddle, who helped me put together some of the background, the research for Buffalo. It's going to be a great season. We hope you join us every week on Behind the Mic. And, of course, Mike will be inside the huddle every week, and then we'll be inside the stadium for all of the home games. Please join us on the Lafayette Sports Network. That's it for Behind the Mic. For Mike, I'm Gary. Thanks for joining us.